Okay, we're back. We're gonna do another video today. I'll try and make it a little bit shorter for you guys. Today's topic is gonna be about aligning your mindset with your expectations. If you're starting your own business, if you're getting ready to start a big career, something that I wish I had learned earlier was how to align my mindset with my expectations. And I'll give you examples, but let's start first with the mindset. Whenever you're about to embark on something that's really difficult, I think the first thing that a lot of people do is they try and look for shortcuts, right? We as human beings, we try and find more efficient ways of doing something. And you have to keep in the back of your mind, if there was a shortcut to do any of this, it would be somewhere where people would be able to access that information. And if it was a widely known fact, it wouldn't be something that people would be charging for to dispense that information. And if it was a closely guarded secret that only so many people knew, it would still probably be a widely known fact anyway because it would leak out. But for me, when it came to aligning my mindset, the first thing I said to myself, I kind of made a commitment that's so much easier said than done. Anybody who's done this will agree, but I agreed that the only thing that would stop me from pursuing the development of Telescope and making it into a huge product was death itself. And that's a very raw, crude way of looking at it, right? That's kind of some people might say, well, that's a little extreme. You have to be extreme when you go through something like this, because you have to understand that any initial ambition that you have in developing a major product or service and starting your own company, you might not know it if you haven't done it yet, but there is a honeymoon phase to an ambitious mindset like that. It's finite, and it's a year and a half long, and then after that, you start to look for things, you start to fall back on things that are more routine if you don't have a good mental foundation in place from the start. So my mindset was, the only thing that would stop me is death. Which in concept seems simple, but in practice for me was very difficult. And then the second thing that I adapted to that mindset was, it's going to be incredibly hard. It might be one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do in your life, and you won't appreciate how difficult building your own business is until you've done everything and then you look back on it. It's going to be the most time-consuming thing that you've probably ever done. It's going to take, it can take thousands of hours just to start getting somewhere. And you're going to get better and more efficient as you do things that are somewhat repetitive. As you make little mistakes along the way, you either won't make them twice, or you'll be more efficient at avoiding them if you have to do a second or third time around. So there's that. And then there's the expectation part of this. And I think most people have this notion that entrepreneurship or starting your own thing, starting, your own big career is this giant, romantic story of traveling the world and, working really hard for X amount of time to enjoy everything. But it's a ridiculous grind in reality. It's not something that's, I would say, particularly fun. It's something that's really based around a belief system that you have to get your mindset into, again, aligning it with your expectations. And I think the biggest mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make with their expectations around that starting ambition is that everything is going to bloom when they think it's going to bloom. And if I just work really hard, and if I overthink the hell out of it, and if I try and be the culmination of everybody I see around me that's done something like this, then that'll help me get what I want sooner. And I think that's a toxic way of looking at things, because you're setting yourself up to get very disappointed. Nothing's ever that simple, and then doing so can just completely kill off your motivation, and then you're trying to claw your way back and look for other ways that inspire you. So I think your expectation should be that you're going to do whatever it takes to learn as much as you possibly can, and you're going to keep trying to get rid of all the variables that you don't understand. If you can do that, if you can commit to that, and just keep the mindset that you're going to keep trying to keep learning what does not work, as I've explained in my previous video, and if you can keep the expectation that eventually you are going to get there, but don't give yourself a specific time limit. Don't set a date or a time that you want to get there. Set goals, and you can put a time limit on the little goals that you have to get yourself more efficient, to keep yourself moving, right? So that you have accountability for the things you plan. But if there's a milestone you're looking to hit, in my opinion, look at it as, I'm going to do whatever it takes to learn how to get there, and don't scrutinize yourself too much on a specific time when you want to achieve something big, because the first 2 or 3 times you set that, you're not going to achieve it. Focus more on the learning process of everything that you're doing, and then the success of those outcomes will happen. Look at success as a byproduct of what you learn, not as a finish line. And then by doing that, you'll get there, and you'll be in a better place mentally if you keep that expectation aligned along the way. So that's going to be my topic for today. And yeah, if anyone wants to talk about it, just leave a message in my inbox or comment, let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.